Heimerdinger himself is a very unique champion and requires a much more level of skill to play. You must use this to your advantage. A properly played Heimerdinger can be very OP. Just follow these simple steps and you'll be there in no time. Heimerdinger himself has 3 unique skins, one of them being a harrowing skin. The harrowing skin is called Alien Invader Heimerdinger. His other skins are called Blasted Heimerdinger and Piltover Customs Heimerdinger. I prefer the Piltover Customs. That's the one that looks the coolest. Let's get to gameplay now. While in queue, I see that Katarina is going to go mid. I try to use this to my advantage. I see that she is not a mana user. I also see that she doesn't have very much poke from a far distance. This is what I use to my advantage. And she, herself, is not ranged. This makes a big difference in laning phase. I also see that Fiora is going to jungle. I know that when she ganks, she can ult on me, and the turrets won't do any harm to her. I also try to play safe because of this. But trust me, I forget all about Fiora jungle. You'll probably see that in this video's gameplay. Although he doesn't have smite, Nautilus is going jungle. I also try to use this to my advantage because Nautilus does have a grab and a slow. This helps me get a lot of kills against Cat. Now let's talk abilities. Heimerdinger's Q drops a small turret that constantly deals damage when Heimerdinger is in range of it. This turret strictly deals magic damage. Proper placement of the turret is key to winning your lane. This turret has a range. In that range, whoever you attack, the turret will attack. When placing the turret, you want to place it behind the front melee minions. Those minions are going to protect the turret while your turret can deal additional damage without getting killed. A cool extra passive is that this turret, about every 30 seconds or so, it shoots out a beam that affects all enemies in a line. This beam targets the first enemy that Heimerdinger attacks. It can also hit all enemies in that same line. I get this ability at level 1. Heimerdinger's W is also pretty powerful. It shoots out a barrage of rockets, I guess you could say, that deal damage to one target or multiple targets, depending on how you aim it. In this scene, I try to get them all to hit Katarina. In fact, this time when I have actual good aim, it actually hits her and deals tons of damage. Heimerdinger's E shoots out a nuke, which stuns all targets in the middle of the ring and slows all targets in the outside of the ring. Unfortunately, this is the only crowd control ability that Heimerdinger has and should be used very carefully. This deals a lot of damage and, if aimed right, can get you a bunch of kills. Here I use it against Katarina. Heimerdinger's ult is very bursty. It upgrades one single ability. The next one he casts, actually. Turrets gain extra damage and attack speed. His W shoots 5 lines of rockets instead of 1. And his E makes that skill shot nuke bounce several times. Each time it can slow/stun an enemy. His ult should be used properly and not as soon as it's off cooldown. When playing Heimerdinger, especially in mid lane, you must make sure not to overextend. Here, Katarina and Fiora catch me overextending in mid, and I make the big mistake of not warding. Cat and Fiora quickly realize that, and after I burn my flash, I'm pretty much helpless because Heimerdinger doesn't have any escape routes. So Fiora comes in, I try to slow her, but that does not work because she ults on me, so I quickly flash a turret safety, and I start circling the turret. Of course, I pick up a kill while getting killed, so this death was worth it. Here I see that Nautilus is slowly making his way up to mid lane. I try to use this to advantage. I place a turret for safety reasons just in case something happens and I need to recall, or retreat. When Nautilus comes to gank, he immediately scares off this Katarina. Unfortunately, this Katarina is trying to play extremely safe, so I stun her and I aim my missiles at her. The missiles do hit her in fact, although it looked like a miss. Now this Nautilus was extremely smart. He camped in that little small area and he pulls in this Katarina. Now this Katarina dies because Nautilus was smart enough to ignite her. You might be thinking why this Nautilus has Ignite in the jungle. That was a silly mistake. Now let's talk about build. These items are definitely not in any particular order. Start with a Doran's Ring, 1 health, and 1 mana pot. You then want to rush Zonia's Hourglass and Rabadon's Death Cap. After that, you want Sorcerer's Shoes, Void Staff, and Mayha's Soul Eater. Lastly, you want to choose between Banshee's Veil or Guardian Angel, depending on the situation. You want to take 21 9-0 Masteries, focusing on all the ability power you can get on the offensive tree and all of the reduced champion basic attack on the defensive tree. No utility masteries are needed. One pretty cool thing about Heimerdinger is that he can solo the dragon. At least be level 10 and have your ultimate ready. Also, have 2 turrets ready to place. As I make my way to dragon, I make sure that my lane isn't being pushed that much. You need to make sure you do this every time when playing Heim. I start by placing a turret right in that corner, right where that sign is. I also place another turret right there. Shen sees that I'm missing on my lane, and he tries to engage with me when I do dragon. I try to stun him, but that doesn't work out, and Annie comes to join. Shen quickly teleports to her, but that was a big fail. I try to see if there's any other champions in that bush. Luckily, I spot Shen. I try to move him away. That works. I place my third turret right in the middle of the first 2. I quickly engage with Dragon and let all my turrets take the damage. I place my ultimate turret and start spamming my abilities. This is how easily Heimerdinger can take on the Dragon. Just quickly wait, keep on spamming those abilities as soon as they come up, and boom, you have killed the Dragon, soloed, without taking much damage compared to all other champions at level 8. Thanks for tuning in to this Champion Spotlight, brought to you by LOL Initiation. We'll see you next time on the Fields of Justice.